And we are recording. All right, everybody, if you just got here, please go ahead and get some food, sit down, find a spot wherever you can. We're gonna start in about 5 minutes. Hey, find a place to sit. This is like right in my head. Oh, but if I just look over here. I'm just gonna like Jimmy rig this.
That too. I've got really. Oh no.
Test.
Well, not really.
Well, I mean, you could say. Oh, yeah. I just want to be. Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. Sorry, what? Presenter? Yes, yes.
I'll get them high. And they're in too. Then, you know, then it comes out. Oh, simply that one. Yeah. Yeah, I can't hold it.
Tested this a whole bunch. Okay. Okay, so we'll get started with first the Glendale Neighborhood Council Board. If you are one of our board members, this is all of us. Please raise your hand, wave it around so that people know who you are, where you are. If you have any questions about Glendale, please feel free to reach out to any of them or to me or our webmaster, anybody, please reach out. Daniel, did you want to introduce the Poplar Grove Community Council Board?
Hi, everybody. So I'll talk in the mic and also be loud because there's people online, so they want to hear both. So my name is Daniel Tuutau. I am the chair of the Poplar Grove Community Council. Again, if you don't know the neighborhoods, the 9 line is basically the divider between Glendale and Poplar Grove. So we're glad to meet. Poplar Grove, we don't meet as a community council with our monthly meetings for the 2 months of summer of June and July, and we don't meet the 2 months of winter in this November and December. And so they're great times for us to join with Glendale here, and then we try to head up with Fair Park up north. So some of the council is wearing our pink shirts, our signature pink shirts, and then we have a couple that aren't, but we have Jordan, Karen over here, and Dan. Dan's not in the pink, and then Anthony as well at the table there. And then we got Ben in the back, and we have some other board members that aren't here today, but we're glad to be with you. Now, I want to, just by show of hands, we got 3 groups in this room right now. We got people from Glendale, we got people from Poplar Grove, and we have all the other visitors. So just so we all know who we are, Glendale folks, if you just, anyone who lives in the neighborhood of Glendale, great. Anyone that lives in the neighborhood of Poplar Grove? Awesome. And then all of our friends that are visiting from other places. Okay, yeah, it's a great mix today. We're excited to be here, and we're nothing's better than breaking bread together and enjoying a meal. And so we hope that if you want to take a little break from sitting and you go grab some food and come back and we have a good time together. So I think I might say something later when we talk about our mural, but other than that, I'll turn the time back over to Jennifer. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're a very good public speaker. And I love it. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it's really great to see the difference in turnout. And I'm really happy that everybody's here. So this is just a simple icebreaker, just get to know you. We want to make sure that Poplar Grove and Glendale are mingling with everybody else. So we want to get into, groups of 3 or 4, and you're all kind of facing each other. So hopefully this works out. Just have each person share just a tiny detail of your life. Could be like from today, last week, any point in your life. I have 3, 1 year in elementary school. I played the recorder. That is true. I'm also allergic to bananas, which is also true. And I've been fertilizing my trees with duck water all week. So just some examples of things that you can talk about amongst yourselves. We'll give it about 3 minutes, just a little get to know you, your name, state your name, where you're from, and then we'll come back around.
And I'm looking for bridges. I'm looking to also direct. Which is funny because I met someone outside the class. So let's go. And I'm always thinking about the sluts because they are eating all the kinds of beanies and my friends. Oh my gosh, this is those 2. Okay, so my grandma told me to put a cup of soy sauce and vegetables. Did not so I did not that was like I figured like half and they all my sunflowers like I think so because we have that yeah, I see. Yeah, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I bought a bag of duck food for my bed to the ducks in the park. But apparently, it just stinks when you throw it in the water. So I'm all mad about it because I can't use it. So can I give it to you? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. And everyone loves it. I just felt bad and the food I was throwing in there was just teasing you like on the rocks. So yeah, I don't know what I got, but I got the like arena one. Right, but right at like 7:12. So about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Although I did see
So when you can get the other comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Give an update.
All right. I hate to break up the good conversations, but we've got to get moving. Is Renato from Salt Lake City Arts Council, are you ready to come up and do your spiel? Yep. Oh, I was gonna say real quick. Any pictures you want to take, if you want to send them to us, that would be awesome. I love that. And also we're going to try to keep all of our presentations, except for Chief Red's, to a max of 15 minutes with comments. So there's a hard cutoff at 15.
I'm so tall. Wait.
There you go.
Okay. Hi. Hello. My name is Renato Almedo Gonzalez. I am from the Salt Lake City Arts Council, and I work with the public art program. Thanks for having me over. Sorry, I'm like, okay, there we go. Cool. Can everybody see the screen? Yes. So I'm here to give you a quick update presentation on what we're up to over at the Salt Lake City Public Art Program. I spoke with the Poplar Grove Community Council last month because you guys have a new neighbor, Cosmo. Have you guys seen him? It's a giant dinosaur on 7 South and 10th West. So I'll give you a little bit of detail. I want to give you some background. We have really exciting things coming to the west side for the Poplar Grove for the public art program. So I'm gonna do it in 10 minutes or less, and then I'll take some questions. Sorry, it's a PDF. I have so many images that the PowerPoint presentation was like 50 megabytes. I couldn't get it over an email, so I was like, I'll make it into a PowerPoint. Public art program. So I work as part of the Salt Lake City Arts Council, which is part of the division of Department of Community and Neighborhoods in Salt Lake City. My job and my colleague Amy, what we do is we integrate public art into our everyday lived places. So this means things from, we have a mosaic tile artwork on the outside of this library that's part of our collection. Things like Cosmo the dinosaur, things on the east side like the whale, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the projects that are coming up. We work with a board. It's the Salt Lake Art Design Board. Their whole job is to get together and help select artists and make those recommendations to the mayor. And the mayor is who approves all commissions. So what I thought I could do for this presentation is quickly go over some of the projects that we've done on the west side. Some of them are outside of Poplar Grove and Glendale. And then I'll give you some sneak peek of what's coming next. Does anybody ever go to Fair Park? So I just moved out of Fair Park. This was a block away from where I used to live. It's an artwork by Matt Monsoon. It's called What We Built Together. We completed it last year. It's in a block away from Alche. If you guys know Alche, on 12th West. I think it's 12th West, 12th or 13th West. This is a small traffic circle. And what it is, it's an artist from the neighborhood. And he took the idea of a pyramid. And the pyramid, he always thought about who builds pyramids and who are the people that made those happen. So he kind of inverted them and tried to make the working class nature of the neighborhood to have those people at the top. So you'll have that it's 4 sides. There is a side representing elders and a side representing youth. And it's an artwork that you can see in the round. It's made out of cut metal, aging beautifully. And it's really a monument, I will describe it, to the neighborhood and to the people that make the neighborhood. This project took some community engagement process. A lot of our artworks are site specific. And what we mean by site specific is we commission and we work with artists to really have them respond to a specific site. We just don't go and like, oh, you're going to get X, Y, and Z. We try to understand the neighborhood and we try to commission and work and make artists work in a way that responds to that site. Okay, this is my masterpiece, The Little Mermaid. This artwork, I wanted to show a little bit of the efforts that we've been doing at the International Peace Gardens. We've had some issues with a lot of attempted thefts, vandalism to some of our artworks. The Little Mermaid, actually, it's probably one of the artworks in our collection that gets defaced the most. So what we did is we went through a crazy conservation effort to really protect that sculpture. What it means is that we had to work with a conservator in bronze to make sure that the sculpture was safe and stood in place. And what we did is we actually filled it with concrete. So now that thing is rock solid. So no one can go with a bat, no one can go with a hatchet or something and try to take it away. We've seen she's gone through a lot. So you see, if someone takes the Little Mermaid, give us a call because they can probably do a lot. Uh, and then another artwork that we really work hard in is in the U.S. Gardens over at the Peace Gardens. It's a tall monument sculpture. It's called The Dawn of a New Era. That artwork had gone a lot of water damage and the base was crumbling. It's made out of terrazzo, like actual terrazzo. So what we did, it was made by a quite well-known artist, Avard Fairbanks, who was a third generation Utah artist. So we work with his grandson, Daniel Fairbanks, and we redid the sculpture essentially. And what that was is we took a conservation effort, restored the terrazzo. But what we did that was really exciting was replace the base. So that portion over there, now it's solid granite. So that's not going away. That's staying that way. And we work with the artist's grandson to make that happen, all the way down to choosing the material, the quarry where it came from, all of those things, really respecting the artist's intention in the artwork so we can continue to steward all these artworks for generations to come. Other artworks we're working at the Peace Gardens, we're about to finish the Japanese lanterns over there. The marble lions in the Chinese garden, the teeth keep getting breaking apart. So we're like working with a mason to make those happen. So this has been years in the making. This goes to say, if you guys notice anything in public art that may need to be addressed by us, you are the best eyes that we have in the community. So you can report graffiti in the MySLC app. Murals or public art is one of the options. If not, give us a call. We go take a look at it because we really rely on you to let us know if something's happening with our public art collection that we need to address. Okay, this one's really fun. So we just completed Strut. Strut is a 2,000 feet long artwork, is the longest artwork to date in Utah. We did not go with this intention, but it started with a really simple idea. The idea was, what will happen if we have an artist be a part of the design team that will work on the bridge that's separating the east and the west sides from 500 West all the way down to 725 West, the entrance of Poplar Grove. So we got two artists, Laura Haddad and Tom Drugan, to really do community engagement and deep listening to communities in order for them to inform their design and what they were going to do for the project. It resulted in a beautiful artwork that's really inspired by nature, the Jordan River, the Wasatch Mountains, the Great Salt Lake, but most importantly, the peacocks that are on the west side. So when you travel on Strut, if you're traveling from the east side to the west side, you'll see that at the very edge of it, that's closest to I-15, yes, it goes into the full color spectrum. The materials are materials that we all know. All those color strips that you see on the viaduct are actually made from street signs. So you know what we cover the street signs with? It's those colors. The only color you won't find is red because you cannot find red in a peacock. Everything else we could find in a peacock, so we put it in there. Purple is two colors. It's blue and white put together. So that was really fun. This artwork is new. We didn't mean to make the longest artwork in Utah, but we did. So same thing. So enjoy it. We just opened it last like 3 weeks ago, officially.
The river.
The 400 South Viaduct. So that is 400 South. So to get into the east, west, or west, east. So this is your nearest neighbor. So this is Cosmo. There is go ahead. There is a roundabout on 7th South, 10th West that was completed, had a foundation, and we had an artist that was looking for a home for the artwork Cosmo. Cosmo is a sculpture of a Cosmoceratops. Cosmoceratops is the dinosaur with the most horns ever found. They had a very ornate skull, only found in Utah and found back then when dinosaurs were around. when this was swamplands. So that's why there is like a little bit of plants on it that we'll eventually take down, but we want to keep them there for a bit. Cosmo was donated to the city by the artist, Garth Franklin, and we installed it May 11th, and he just finished the base last week. So you can see that there is a rock where Cosmo's sitting on it. So if you've been to Cosmo, go back because now it looks a tiny bit different. It was sitting on like metal, so we were like we have to make the metal look better, so we made like a sculptural form with it. This is a great artwork. It's solid built and it's a really fun one. So we collaborated with the Natural History Museum of Utah. We did a series of videos. We put up flyers everywhere because we're talking about where's Cosmo, like the dinosaur went missing. So there is kind of like a story, like an Easter egg that you can follow online on social media, but you can go check out Cosmo. This was a fun project. Okay, a little bit of what's to come. Later this year, fingers crossed, the Poplar Grove Park will be redone with a new, I think the tennis courts are going to be retrofitted to fit a tennis court and a pickleball court. And there's going to be some work done in the basketball court. I think it doesn't exist, and I think it's going to be new. We work with, is that what it is? Okay, yeah. So I know there was like some work there. These two courts are going to have a site-specific integrated mural by Roots Art Collective. That's a local collective here of muralists that work here in Salt Lake City. They created two designs, one for each court, that are really inspired by the Jordan River and Poplar Grove. So fingers crossed that gets done. We're using a special type of paint. That paint is specific for sports courts materials, so like you can play on them and it weathers nicely. It has to be above 50 degrees for us to install it. So tonight when you go to bed, project get done. So we'll come back with the artist once we're done with that one. And then two more things. The first one is we've been working a long time, and a lot of you have helped us out on an initiative given to us by Mayor Mendenhall to create iconic artworks for the West Side. We knew that we had to do quite a bit of engagement for this, so we've been working for 2 years, almost 3 years already, in doing deep listening to the community, and we have selected 2 sites for where these public artworks are going to be. Together, these artworks represent a $1 million investment in public art for the West Side. 2 sites were chosen. One is going to be at Glendale Park, so the new re-envisioned, reimagined Glendale Park. Do you guys remember the slides where the slides used to be? So that's kind of like the highest natural, but it's not really natural, it's fake, point in the West Side. So that's where one of the artworks is going to be. Right now, I'm going through contracting with the artist, so I cannot show you renderings, but I'll be back and I'll show you what it will look like. It's going to be made by artist Matthew Masota, who did 2 rounds of engagement with community members. And later this summer, we'll release the renderings of what it will look like. And then the second artwork is going to be on the Nine Line Trail. Okay, here. The second artwork will be in the Nine Line Trail. And we're thinking of 3 to 5 different locations with an anchor location on the 9th South, 9th West intersection. So this is going to be an artwork. We're working on design. We're working with the artist on finalizing this, but it could possibly extend all the way up to Redwood Road, starting from the freeway. So that will be an exciting artwork that really tells the story as it goes through. So I'll be back, and hopefully we release artists and renderings of the design by the end of this year, fall. Yes. No, I don't have it, but I can say it or I can give them to you. It's 9th South, 9th West. It is the intersection of Navajo Street and the 9 Line, Redwood Road, Oxbow in the Jordan River, and then if budget, design, and everything permits, near the 9 Line Bike Park. So those are the sites. Lastly, this is a call for artists. We currently have open for a Jordan River Mural Parkway program. So we are partnering with public utilities and public lands in a project for the Jordan River Parkway between 600 North and 15 North. We're going to commission 4 murals. It's currently open and accepting qualifications from artists and artist-led teams through July 5th, which is a Sunday. How did I do on time? 14 seconds. Yeah. That one we never found. So that one we call like every foundry. And what's sad, if you know anyone that's scraping metal, tell them that they won't be able to get much money for melted bronze. That's a reality. It's sad that it happened. We never found it. We couldn't get a new one. We have another one in our collection and it's over at the Gallivan Center. But yeah, I'm sad about that one. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And just in case you're curious, we're recording this as a Zoom presentation, so you should be able to see anything that's on the Zoom online within a day or two. And if presenters are okay with it, we'll also be posting their slides online. So we'll just make sure that everybody's okay with that, and then you should be able to see all of that online. Avanza, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And if anybody who's going to present, if you want to come up and sit here, feel free to.
Okay, just click this one here.
Yep, just click that right there.
Okay. Well, it's great to be here. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to recognize Sarah Wolf and thank her for inviting me here. It's great to speak to both of your councils. I came to Utah when I was 12 years old from New York. My family's Colombian, and I moved here to Poplar Grove, went to Glendale Middle School. I'm a West Side graduate, so it's great to be here with you. I am the program director of Avanza 88.3. Avanza is a bilingual community radio station that was launched by the University of Utah, and we are Utah's first bilingual radio station and one of the only ones in the country, and one of the only ones in the entire NPR network. Our station focuses on music, culture, and community. I'll tell you a little bit more about what that means. And one of our taglines is La Comunidad Unida Avanza, which means the community united advances. Avanza means to move forward or advance in Spanish. And so that's something that we like to talk about all the time. These are photos from our launch party last fall at Drift Lounge on the west side of Salt Lake City. And we'll be holding a second annual party, save the date, on October 8th. It's a Thursday at Drift Lounge as well. We had more than 300 people there last year, and that was really exciting and really a testament to what we're building together. So as I was saying, Avanza 88.3 was launched by the University of Utah to fulfill a gap to serve Utah's increasingly diverse populations, not just in the West Side, but throughout Salt Lake County and throughout the state. We were launched by our sister stations, PBS Utah and KUER. KUER is the NPR station here in Salt Lake. We focus on different areas. We are primarily a music station. You do not hear newscasts or headlines on our station. There are many places where you can get that, and all of us also get headlines on our phone. What we do provide, though, is we do talk about community affairs, and we do give context to the headlines. Why does this particular headline affect me and my community, my neighborhood? And that's what we focus on. The music discovery part, we have, I'll get into it in a little bit, but we have programming, local programming that we're very excited about, thanks to collaborators and volunteers who are volunteering, and we're always looking for volunteer DJs and volunteers who want to be a part of the station. And then our cultural programming, we have a series of new programming in both English and Spanish, where we bring in local artists, where we talk about issues that are affecting the community that are of interest, and also really highlighting issues that not only matter, but that are positive and that are a source of joy. A lot of times when our neighborhoods and our communities are in the media, it's as a victim of crime or as a perpetrator of a crime. This is totally different. And it's very local. And as you can see, it's in Spanglish. So we have programming in English and Spanish, but we also do lean into Spanglish because a lot of times when you have a lot of Latinos in a room, we're going to be switching back and forth between languages, but certainly a significant percentage, the majority of our programming is in English, so anyone really can listen to it. Now, as I was saying, Avanza exists because Utah's Latino and diverse communities continue to grow. And we did a lot of focus group research, extensive research 2 years ago when I was hired. And we continue to get feedback from listeners and people out in the community. We go to a lot of events throughout Salt Lake, and folks want community more than ever, a sense of belonging, information, but again, not just headlines, context. Why does this matter? Why does this affect me? Connection, especially after COVID. It's crazy to think that we're 5 years out, or more, but still there are ramifications from that. And representation, again, hearing our voices, and not just in sound bites, but actually in long form conversations. Here, you can see 2 images. This one is here at the International Peace Gardens at Art at the Gardens, which is a great event. We were really happy to be there. And then this is at the Sorensen Community Center at the first ever bilingual book fair, which was held a little over a month ago.
The same date.
Same day. Yeah, we called it West Side Day at Avon. So on that note, the West Side really matters to us. We regularly serve Glendale and Poplar Grove at events. We know we have listeners here in these neighborhoods. We also are very active in Rose Park and Fair Park, not only at the fairgrounds. We've been at the Health and Heritage Fair, which is an annual thing done by the Utah Health and Policy Project, but also we have partnered with local businesses like Un Cafecito, which is a coffee shop on North Temple. So we do these events called mug stops, and we stop at coffee shops or local businesses to talk to people, to find out what's important to you, what's happening in your neighborhood. Is there something that we should look into? Is there something you want to highlight? And then we do a lot in West Valley. We're proud to partner with the Utah Cultural Celebration Center, and we do regular events there. We were just there for West Valley Pride over the weekend. There is a Juneteenth event that PBS Utah and Utah Cultural Celebration Center are doing this Thursday, and we're a part of those on a regular basis. Any questions so far? Oh, go ahead. Thursday at the Utah Cultural Celebration Center in the evening. Oh, tomorrow is Thursday. Why do I think it's Tuesday? It is tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Now, when it comes to our local music programming, we have 3 new shows at the moment. One is Un Abrazo, which we've had on the air since last fall. This is a Latin indie show. It is an eclectic mix of music and kind of like a warm hug. It's just really fun music to listen to on your commute. It airs Fridays at 5 p.m. and then it re-airs Fridays at 4 p.m. We have Sal y Sabor, which is more dancey tunes. You have some Brazilian music in there. Sal y Sabor means salt and flavor. So it gives you a sense of what that show is like. That is hosted by a local DJ named DJ Causita, who DJs at a lot of local events. And then we have Tronica, which is an electronic EDM, but meets kind of Latin music, which airs Fridays at 9 p.m. And we have an ongoing World Cup music special hour, all the anthems of the World Cup, music from Latin America, Africa, Asia, Europe, everywhere. That's airing every Friday and Saturday night through the end of the World Cup. Real quickly, so our English language programming, La Mesa is our signature show. It is a Spanglish roundtable. What that means is that it's in English, but you do hear Spanish interspersed throughout. But definitely, if you don't speak Spanish, you're welcome to listen to it. We think it's really fun. We do a 10-minute opener where we talk about the context behind the headlines. Then we do a 30-minute deep dive. It's been on air quality on the West Side, immigration, food insecurity, most recently on why many Latinos become tattoo artists as a way of reclaiming identity and self-expression. And then we do a local artist interview at the end. We have a show called Conexión, where we interview nonprofit leaders. Certainly, many of you here would be welcome on that show. And then Latino Legacy, those are bilingual interviews where we profile Latinos making a difference and innovating in our communities. Our Spanish language programming, we have 4 main shows. Punto de Encuentro is a weekly Spanish language interview show. It's an hour long. It ends with a health segment, and we focus not only on physical health, but on mental health as well. And that's in partnership with the Utah Department of Health and Human Services. Panas in Utah is for Venezuelans and other recent arrivals in the Latino community. Panas in Utah is a social media group of accounts, they have more than 200,000 followers. It gives you an idea of how big the Venezuelan community and recent arrivals from South America are here in our state. Then La Placita is a community affairs show connecting listeners to community leaders and resources. Actually, Renato has been on 2 of these shows. Several people in the room have been on them. And then Hecho in Utah profiles local Latino entrepreneurs and small business owners shaping Utah today. We're almost at the end here. We are a community service. We really see ourselves not just as a radio station, but we're really here to amplify the great work that is happening in our communities. So please tell us about your community events, share resources and opportunities with our listeners and followers and our newsletter subscribers. You can record on-air announcements. If these are free events to the community, you're more than welcome to. You can download our app, which is free, Avanza 88.3, and you can easily record a 30-second message that we will play over the air. You can also submit information for your newsletter and social media. And again, invite us to your events. And lastly, you can stay connected with us on Avanza 88.3 FM, on the free Avanza 88.3 app. You can stream us online at avanzautah.org. And like I said, you can sign up for a newsletter, and we're easy to reach at info@avanzautah.org. And then these QR codes, that one is to download the app, and this one's to sign up for the newsletter. Any more questions?
Thank you. I don't have any questions, but I just want to add something. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. I never knew that this thing was happening on the website. So if we can have like other language like Swahili, like Arabic, I just speak Somali. So since I'm living on the website, even I run a nonprofit, I care website of solidarity because I grow here since
Right.
1998. So if we can have more language like Samoan, Marshall Island.
I would love that. First of all, I love your T-shirt, West Side, Best Side. Yeah. So as of right now, our show Cafecito, which airs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., you're going to hear music. At least a fifth or a quarter of the music is not in English or in Spanish. It's in a variety of languages from Africa, the Middle East, Europe, Asia, elsewhere. We are starting to add some Portuguese. I speak Portuguese as well. And so we're adding some Portuguese to our lineup. I would love for us to, at one point, have a dedicated hour where we could have different communities speak in their native languages. I think that's really important. So thank you for bringing that up, and I would love to connect afterward. De nada. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you all very much. You've been great.
So I think we're going to start making it a policy that when the firefighters come in, they can come and present first, just in case they have to go on a call. So if you want to come up and present, and then afterwards, please feel free. We've got a potluck going on down there. Don't look at all of the cords on the floor. I know firefighters are probably not excited about that. Yeah.
Awesome. See you again. I'm all, and all. There we go. Well, good evening, everybody. So we have a pretty quick message this month, just 2 points that we're going to hit on. The first is, as we're getting to these hotter summer months, a bigger concern for us that's we're having a lot of calls is pets locked in vehicles. Even on a day that's like only 80 degrees, which we're starting to get way above that. In like 10 minutes, your car can get to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And for a dog, that can become fatal rather quick. At like 105 degrees, dogs have critical heat stroke. So if you can just encourage you yourself, keep it in mind and encourage your friends, family that are around. Don't lock your pets in vehicles. Cracking the window doesn't really do much actually to help the temperature inside your vehicle at all. So that's not a great solution. Just avoid having your pets locked in cars. The other big thing that we're hitting on right now is wildfire safety. We're starting to really spin up the wildfire season. We've been going on a lot of grass fires around the Salt Lake Valley area. Just the past few weeks, it's getting really picking up. So fire safety, make sure that around your homes is clear of any fuels and no open fires inside of the city limits. Sorry, no fires in the backyard right now. If you are going to break the rules and have one, keep it small. So I know prevention, but now do you guys have any questions for the fire department this month? Yeah. Yeah.
Firework policy gonna be?
Yeah. We haven't had anything official come down the chain yet. I'm sure we will this week. But what was that? Yeah, boss, you have any way in on this?
You haven't heard at this point, it's going to be very similar to what last year was, which is mostly no fireworks during certain hot days, during red flag mornings and such. And there will be a similar opening around 4th of July and 4th of July. That's what I've heard so
Yeah.
far. It's not official, but it sounds like that's what we're going.
Yeah.
And unless the weather changes or something else changes, that should be normal.
Yeah, and if you're gonna break the rules, be safe about it, please. Yeah, don't break the rules. Just don't break the rules. What else can I answer for you guys? Everybody want to know about fireworks? Great. Oh, there's one over there. Okay. So pedestrians have the right of way when you're walking in crosswalks, but also use common sense. There's a lot of drivers out there that don't have it, so you sometimes have to use your own common sense. Yeah, absolutely feel you. I lived in downtown for a while, and yeah, I get it. I get it. Been there. Uh-huh. What else? Anybody got any other questions for me? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, thanks, guys. Stay safe.
All right. I accidentally put Keegan for livable streets, but that is not who we have presenting. Connor Stone, is that right?
Yep.
He's going to be presenting on some livable streets projects. This is the safest route around.
All right, just need to press that right arrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think I might need to adjust this. Let's twist this. There we go. All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Connor Stone. I'm a transportation planner in the transportation division, and I'm here to give an update on livable streets. I was here in March, and that was right before we kicked off engagement for a couple of livable street zones in Poplar Grove and Glendale. So this is a look at the comment map that we have so far. So we're getting a lot of comments, which is great. It's what we want. People are working in the Shape SLC site that we've launched, which is the city's new engagement platform. So we're excited to see people are figuring out how to use that and give us their feedback. So Livable Streets is a citywide traffic calming program. It goes through a prioritized based zones. Right now, we're working on zones 17 through 21, the first round of engagement, which includes one in Poplar Grove and one in Glendale. Zones 12 and 15 are currently in engineering design, and we're expecting those to start construction sometime late fall or winter once those designs are finalized. You'll have a link on the next slides, but you can view those plans online on our website. There's a link to that. I'll show you in a second. So for those that aren't familiar with traffic calming, there is a few different types of treatments that can be used. And just as a reminder, these are on local roads, so roads that are 25 miles an hour or less. And part of the process originally was identifying all the candidate streets, typically low speed, but the reason we need traffic calming is because you're seeing higher speeds and unsafe driving behavior on some of these. So that's the feedback that we're looking for as we go through these. You can have things like RFBs that turn on when you press the button and alerts drivers to someone crossing the road. It can be a vertical deflection is the term for like a speed hump or a speed cushion. And then horizontal deflection, which is like a traffic circle, which is a little bit different than a roundabout, but they look very similar. So those are just images of what those look like. And I'm sure you've seen some around the neighborhood. So this is a look at Zone 12. That is the concept plan you can find online. I know it's a little difficult to see on the screen, so I think Jennifer said the slides will be available, so you can go check out the plan, and it'll show where different types of traffic calming treatments will be, whether it's a speed hump or a speed cushion or a different type of treatment. So that's the link there. It's slc.gov/livable streets, where you can see zones 12 and 15's concept plans as they are. Skipped one. And then this is zone 15, which is between California and 1700 South. Sorry, I should have told you where the last one was. So that's zone 12 is between Indiana Avenue and 1700 South and Emory Street. I don't know the far west street, but the concept plan is a little more viewable online. So, and in zone 15, these are all speed humps along 1000 West with a few along Wenco Drive. And so that's zone 15. You can find that in the same place as zone 12 concept. And we're now starting the first round of engagement for zone 17 and 18, which 17 is in Poplar Grove. You can see all the candidate streets highlighted in yellow. At the end of this slide, or end of the presentation, I have some QR codes that you can scan that'll take you right to the Shape SLC site where there's a survey, and that's the best way to keep up with the project and know at what stage it is, as long as timelines for each phase. Oh yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting. So this one is between 400 South and Indiana Avenue, and then Cheyenne Street to Emory Street. Mostly local roads. I think nearly every road is a candidate street in this zone. I should mention that there is a limit to the funding, so in each zone, it's a matter of priority and need that the design team goes through. Unfortunately, we can't put traffic calming on every single street. So that's definitely why the feedback period is really important, and make sure that we have the most amount of feedback we can have to inform the designs. And then zone 18, which is also, it's in Glendale, between Indiana Avenue and California Avenue, and then Emory Street to 900 West. There is a handful of candidate streets, mostly on the west portion, west of the Peace Gardens. So yeah, definitely looking for feedback in all of these areas. And here are the two QR codes. I don't know if those are working from the back. It'd be great if someone could let me know. Looks like that text got cut off, but Poplar Grove Zone 17 is the QR code on the left, and then Glendale Zone 18 is on the right. That'll take you right to the Shape SLC site, where there's an active survey. We're hoping to have a planning level concept sometime in the fall for everyone to review, and then there'll be another round of feedback on that. So right now is the initial kind of traffic safety issues. We want to hear those from you guys. The design team will come up with kind of a concept plan, and then there will be another round of engagement for everyone to give feedback on sometime in the fall. You have a question? Yeah, so 1700 South is not a candidate street in the Livable Streets program. It's a little bit of a higher speed roadway. So unfortunately, it's not included in the Livable Streets program because it's less than, or it's more than 25 miles an hour. But there are a lot of discussions happening around 1700 South because there's been some safety concerns there. I know our division leadership is working closely with UDOT. And so they're hoping to come to some consensus on the best improvements in the future. So, and then we have email as well. So if that's a more convenient method of contacting us, feel free to email Livable Streets if you have, more you want to say about a traffic concern. We're always happy to communicate with you through email. And my personal email is there as well. So I'd love to hear from you if you have thoughts or want to chat more. So you had a question? Mhm.
Is there any way to make that more visible? Because all of a sudden you're on it, it's flashing. You have to hit the brake, you're driving, the person driving the bike, stuff. And it's just, it's all right. The flasher.
Yeah, I totally understand. And you're talking about the orange lights. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Totally understand. And there's different kinds of, alert lights for pedestrians. We have the hawk signal. I'm sure because I've seen the new one on 1700 South by the park that acts more like a stoplight. But yeah, really just from a cost effective standpoint, it's not super feasible to put those everywhere. And so having some RFBs around helps just bring additional awareness. Rather, it's a little better than having nothing there at all, for sure. But I hear your concern. Sometimes it comes up quick and it's hard to decide, if you're already approaching the crosswalk. So totally understand. Yeah.
Thank you. This is the second time, I do remember, last time I explained you guys, cross street and where my office is 11 to 1,000. No, the other side there's a new apartment they build it, and this side there's businesses. But sometimes people are not getting out the bus on the other side, and they want to come on the other side on the east side.
Yeah.
So it's kind of very hard to know there. I remember one of my members of my community, they tried to cross it, and then the police saw him, and then they gave him ticket,
Oh no.
So it's kind of very tough spot. So they want to go all the way down to 1300 South, and then they have to come back. So it's kind of very tough spot.
Yeah.
Difficult. I don't know if you guys want to think about it. And we discussed this multiple times. Jennifer and then also other board members.
Yeah.
If you guys have any chance, maybe you doubt.
Yeah, Redwood Road. It's kind of a tongue twister. It is a UDOT road, but I think going forward we will hopefully be having like a more collaborative relationship with the UDOT, and so those are certainly things that we can bring up and work with them on and make proposals to improve some of those things. So, yeah, I definitely appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah,
My office, and then I also have what's happening.
for
A
sure.
lot of people crossing the street, and they're scared enough.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd love to come check it out. If you want to just shoot me an email, we can meet. So sweet. Cool. Any other questions? Where are we at on time? Are we over? Oh, cool. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Feel free to reach out if you have anything else. Thank you.
Instead of having that unscrewed and screwed, just knock it down or take it out of the
It
thing.
might fall on my face, but yeah. So actually we have a 30-second announcement to make about somebody who's going to come around with a clipboard. And also bees are on the block if you did want to make a 30-second statement about where you are. And then we're gonna get to Chief Red.
I'm just gonna grab it. So my name is Jack. I'm with the University of Utah. Here to tell you about a research opportunity. If you want to participate, we're looking at how residents perceive the benefits of green space and blue space for mitigating heat, extreme heat with our rising temperatures. What we're asking from you is to participate in a 45 to 60-minute interview that you can sign up for on this sheet that I'm going to pass around. I already talked to Poplar Grove, so Glendale, it's your turn to step up. If you participate, you get a $20 gift card. So thank you.
Okay, I'm here with Bees Around the Block. I'm just in back. So to answer any questions you have after this, we're doing a public art installation, which will go in on Main Street in downtown. We have 7 bee sculptures that are about 5 feet high that look like this. I don't know if you can see. one for each district of Salt Lake City. Right now we're gathering information from residents of local neighborhoods because we're going to partner with local artists to design each bead to represent that specific district in those neighborhoods. So if you could come find me, grab one of these, just fill it out, things you love about the neighborhood. There's a QR code. You can take an online survey, and we'd really appreciate the help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have to stay on here. Do I need to keep this?
The main thing is that this microphone here is so that our people online can see it. Yeah, you don't mind.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be with you. I'm sitting back here with Representative Romero, who, by the way, is a fierce advocate for all of you on the West Side, as you all know, and who's been a great supporter of law enforcement, of victims of crime. For years, I've worked with her. So she wanted me to. I told her I'm not going to do my presentation. It's getting late. She says, no, I want to see it. And it's 45 minutes long. So I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do my PowerPoint. Okay. That's getting late. You all had dinner. I really want to come and answer any questions that you might have, take any comments, concerns about the police department or your neighborhoods, or ways that we can all work together to make your community safe and supported. So I'm just going to open it up to questions. The PowerPoint, we talk about a lot of things that are going on in the police department, but I think a lot of them will be covered by maybe your questions. I just want to take maybe, 5 or 10 minutes. So any questions? Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Member of the West Side and of a community that feels like it's being attacked right now by the administration. I don't personally like seeing Salt Lake City Police Department using any resources whatsoever to defend that place, to do anything, to arrest citizens of our city. And I just want to say, like, a comment, like, that is something, and I know that I don't know what the situation is right now with the police department in the city and that detention center, but that was just.
If you like, I'd give you a little bit of insight as to what is happening out there. So the very first, when that was first announced, there was a protest that was organized out there, and we sat and we went back and forth. Should we be, because we go to a lot of demonstrations, and you'll see us in our green vests, and we'll pass out flyers, and we'll be present at demonstrations to make sure people can peacefully demonstrate and exercise their constitutional rights. Because of the concerns around, well, Salt Lake City cooperating with ICE, we made a determination at the first protest that we were not going to be out there. We had a team that was in the area, but we were not present. And so the demonstration started, it was going fine, and then some other individuals that weren't really affiliated with the protest showed up and started throwing rocks at the building and causing property damage. There was an ICE agent that got a broken wrist out of the situation. And then organizers of the demonstration actually went in and tried to stop the people throwing rocks and put themselves at risk. So after that, the organizer called me and said, I'm really sorry this happened. We didn't intend that this happen. These aren't people that were affiliated with us. And I asked him, I said, should we have been there? And he says, well, we're not going to do any more or demonstrations out there because it's just the environment is unsafe and it's just a long ways from everything. But if we were going to do it again, we would want you there. So we have been out there at those demonstrations to kind of protect everyone's rights to protest, and also to make sure that there's not property damage or people getting hurt. That can create a perception that we're there supporting ICE in their efforts. We're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't. Okay, so we've been out there. We haven't had any issues, and then we last Saturday we decided not to be there, and we had people go back on the property, and we got called by the property owner ICE to come out and deal with the problem again. So we're trying to strike a balance. That's why we've been there. We did effect a number of 4 arrests a few weeks ago. This was a traffic stop conducted by the facility and not at the protest site. Some of the individuals protesting showed up on the traffic stop. We have talked about that internally, and we're making some adjustments on that situation. Our teams have reflected and thought about ways they could do it better next time, not to have to make those arrests. So that's kind of the situation that we're in out there. We're just trying to protect everyone's rights to demonstrate and also protect property and life.
They have a lot of property around the city that gets damaged, and there's trespassing and it just feels like that facility is getting a priority to damage. And it's like, there's tons of people putting graffiti around the city and I know you'll respond to those calls when you guys have time, but it does feel like there is like an elevated sense of like, let's get out there and help them, you know? And I know it's like maybe trying to like keep the peace, but it's not sending a good message to people.
I hear you. And again, the alternative is to have ICE out doing it and then having the conflict going on. We do respond to property damage when we're called around any part of the city or any trespassing that's called on. We attempt to get there as quickly as possible. But I hear you. I get the perception issues, and we're trying to manage those the best that we can. Other questions? Yes, right here, sir. No, it's okay.
So I attended a few years ago, not that long ago, I attended a community or a Salt Lake City Council meeting that we held at the Sorensen. And I came in late and I made my way into the second to last row and sat down in front of the previous chief of police. And I kept raising my hand as we had Q&A. And finally, our mayor said, "Dan, what do you want?" From the front, you know, and I stood up and I just turned around and looked straight at the chief and I went, "I just want to live. I've almost been hit in the crosswalk by police officers twice. I just want to live. So how about we just think about driving a police officer driving the way that they want the rest of us to drive." So that, and then I sat down and, you know, how are we doing?
Well, I will say,
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I will say that any accidents that our officers cause that are where they're at fault is too many. Our driving, we should set the example for driving. We do talk about this. I can tell you, we recently, well, it was last year sometime. We had the Valley Police Alliance. So this is the police departments made up here in the Salt Lake County area. We looked at crash rates of our officers, and Salt Lake PD is basically it's the same across the valley. We're having the same problem across the valley. So we have implemented some emergency vehicle operations training this past year that hadn't been done for a number of years in the police department. So we're doing that. We're talking about driving more safely. We are addressing those issues when they come up. Yeah, we need to set the example. No question about it.
Second, so the other one is what is the deal, since a lot of us don't understand the issue of driving way too fast down these smaller less than 20 mile an hour streets, but no lights or anything, so it's just extremely dangerous. What's the rule on lights versus driving faster?
Well, I think anytime that we're increasing our speed to, a lot, we should have our lights on. I mean, sometimes they may be driving a little bit faster to get to a call. I think we can take that back and have a discussion on that. I mean, if we're driving in neighborhoods and we're exceeding the speed limit to go to a call or something, maybe we should have our lights on. At the same time, if we're going a few miles over, we may not turn the lights on, but we can go back and have a discussion about that. You bet. Yeah, of course.
So I walk along the Jordan River Trail a bunch, and lately I have seen highway patrol officers either like driving or walking, and I just was wondering what's that about,
So the Fair Park District, they were allocated money funding for a team to work along the Jordan River in the Fair Park District. So State Fair, the state buildings that are around the Jordan River, and so they're partners with us and they assist, and so that's what's going on there. So they have a team, and that goes clear back to years ago with Operation Rio Grande when the state was deployed. So it's the same thing. So we're partners working together. Other questions? Yeah, right here in the back, black shirt.
Less drug activity in parks where I'm at, Poplar Grove Park specifically.
Right.
In Sherwood Park on Post Out. I applaud the effort. I think you guys have done. You've turned this thing around quite a bit, and I know it's not perfect, and maybe not everyone has that same opinion, but where I'm standing at my house, a much better scenario.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And Commander Clough, if you want to raise your hand, Commander Clough is commander of this area. Many of you probably know him. His team is working hard, and we're bringing teams from other parts of the city, you know, our partners from Highway Patrol. We are committed to a safe West Side, and our guiding principle is if kids can't be in parks, if parents aren't comfortable sending their kids to their parks, then we got work to do, and we still have more work to do. We passed some laws this year that will that eliminate the ability to do the syringe exchange in our parks. That's not going to happen anymore. We've passed a law where there's now an off-limits order. So if someone is caught dealing drugs in a park, a judge can order them to be out of that park for a period of time where they can't come back. And if they do, they get arrested on a Class A trespassing, and they go to district court and they get to talk to the judge about why they're back in the park after they've been told to stay out. So we're working on a lot of those things, but thank you for that. And it's also because all of you community members call. And what I continue to tell anyone, anywhere I go around the city, if you're having issues, if it's an emergency, obviously dial 911. If it's a non-emergency, but it would be helpful information for the police department, call 801-799-3000. But we look at where our calls are coming in across the city, and where there's a higher, you know, where there's data showing there's more problems, that's where we put our police officers. If you don't call and we don't get that information, then we don't allocate our resources as effectively as we could. So it's because of community members like you that care and come out that you're helpful in the solution. Yes, sir.
I've got an auditory problem. Can you repeat that phone number again?
Yes.
801.
Yes. 801-799-3000. The other thing that you can do is there's an email called Ask the Chief on our website, or you can go to our website and also file a report. So the more information that we get from the community, the better that we can deploy our resources and effectively address the issues. So I have community members here in this area that email me once in a while and say, hey, this is going on. And we know we react to that. So we appreciate those calls and emails. Got a lot of questions here, sir.
Go on the road, you pass cars, and the license thing is right past you, what does he do? Do you turn it in or?
If someone's registration is expired, is that what you're asking? We can make a traffic stop and write a citation or warn them, so we can handle those types of situations. Have you? Okay, well, Commander Clough just heard you, so we'll keep watching those. Yes, sir. Yes.
Which is, I've noticed some police officers parking in bike lanes to get tacos on 8th and State Street. And it's a bike commuter, it's just really frustrating to
Okay.
try, like, get into the lane to go around the police officers getting.
All right.
flushed.
All right. Lieutenant Hartney, can you write that one down? We'll do a reminder. Okay. I saw there was a hand here. Yes, sir.
Email or a place where we could just, if we had just a certain issue, to get a hold of you or one of your deputies or whatever to talk to them about an issue we have in our community, on our streets and stuff like that, to get their opinion. Is there a direction that we can go or call or?
Our email, there's an email called Ask the Chief on our website. So you could just click that. Lieutenant Robin Hartney, where are you, Robin? Oh, you're here. Robin monitors that email for me. She's, you know, and we work on those emails together. So yeah, just send it in there and we'll respond back to it.
Thank you.
It's a hand here.
This is not a question, but this is for thank you for, you know, coming, and then also thank you for we met last time. I think it was a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But I do see nowadays my own people, you know, working on the west side. When I say my people, I see some Latinos, some other Africans, which is wonderful, it's respected. But thank you very much for doing so on. So I want to see when I'm driving, so I want to see my own people, you know, I want to make sure to be safe, you know. Sometimes there's a challenge. I do remember last time, it was like a couple of months ago, even I mentioned to you, there were some people, there was 2 police officers, and there was 1 civilian came to my house, and then they just knocked very hard on the door. We just scared, you know.
Yeah.
And then the way they say to us was, I feel like, you know, very sad, but it was okay, things happen now. Sometimes there's challenge, but I don't have any problem, but I'm really happy you did it to hire more people, you know, immigrant refugees, you know.
Yeah, we definitely want to hire individuals who are reflective of the communities that we serve. So We continue to, support, diversity in our workforce. Also, we are working, Lieutenant Hartney's been working with the Racial Equity Policing Commission and on cultural, awareness trainings and things like that. So we're working on that as well to make sure that, we do understand the community that we're policing better, a little bit better than maybe we had before.
I was just wondering, when we see you guys in the neighborhood, either responding to something or that's more than just a complaint, is there a way to find out what's going in and whether or not it's safe to be outside? And I'm specifically asking about, there was the shooting in the park, I think last year, and then there was someone with a long rifle gun that was in the neighborhood and the police were searching. And I was just wondering, is there a way to find out that information without approaching
Calling 911 or what?
yeah, or approaching someone who's actively working?
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one. I think on big incidents, we probably should make sure that we're putting out updates on social media, and so we need to make sure we're doing that frequently in a timely manner. I mean, you can always call back to the 799-3000 and see if that works. I think if you do that and you don't get the response that you want, then we probably would. I'd love to get a call, and then we could try to work on that. This has been an issue that's come up a couple times, particularly just north of here, up on the North Temple area, and I think it's something that we'll have to constantly be working on. You can call dispatch and request, like if you call and report something in, you can call and you can request for the officer to follow up with you at the end of the call. So you can do that as well. I wish there was one really easy way. It's just going to take communication. And if we miss a little bit, then I think just we need to work on it. But you can call the non-emergency number and try to get some information. You bet.
They send me a text. I'll let them know what's going on.
Okay. And do you want to, that Detective Oliver, do you want to give your number out?
Yeah. I have 4962.
Thank you. Appreciate that offer. Commander Clough.
Yeah. Our PR director is really good about posting anything that's especially going to be prolonged, just to kind of give people a heads up that what we're doing in the area and how it's going to impact you. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram, I would probably recommend that.
Other questions right here? Yes, sir. Yeah, a little over a year.
Biggest challenge. What more can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I have some statistics for your specific areas, and then also citywide. I mean, we're making really great progress on overall crime. We're seeing crime come down. We have a couple hotspots, aggravated assaults within families. And that doesn't just mean a married family. That could also mean intimate partners. We've seen that tick up this year. So that's something that we need to work on. And that's more than a police department problem. That's within the walls of people's homes. And that's going to take a broader approach to, and a lot of factors that cause that. We're working hard on crime that's related sometimes to like our homeless population, but it's not even always homeless individuals. It's some open air drug markets, and so we're taking a hard line on open air drug use. If you're using drugs in public, we have a project called Project Connect where we're trying to help individuals through treatment. But also a higher level of accountability. But that will continue to be a challenging issue. It's not fully a police department issue. It's going to take the back end of the criminal justice system, the social services system. I think that's one of the biggest challenges is aligning. We can put someone in treatment for 6 months and get them sober, but if we just release them back to the street without a place to live, it's a matter of time before they're back using drugs again. I mean, the statistics are very high. We can arrest someone and put them in jail, but if an individual's not held accountable, and so, or we arrest someone, we don't get our report in on time and they get released when they should have been released, that happens too. So aligning the system and making it work for individuals. Every individual struggling, whether they're criminogenic behaviors or substance use or mental illness or homelessness, you can't treat there's not a one size fits all for these problems. And so I think that's the biggest challenge is getting people to help. When I was in the Department of Corrections, when I was leading the Department of Corrections, you know, you would see individuals go in and you talk to those individuals that are incarcerated. A lot of them had a lot of challenges that led up to them committing those crimes. It doesn't excuse the crimes that they committed, and it doesn't mean that they shouldn't be held accountable for those crimes. But most of them are coming back out and getting them prepared to come back out, addressing those criminogenic behaviors, the mental illness challenges, the substance use, the economic challenges. That's really complex, and it takes a whole community. That's probably the biggest challenge going forward. We got to keep aligning the system and working together and not pointing fingers. And it's going to take the community, it's going to take government, it's going to take private sector, it's going to take everyone working together. You bet. Yes, sir. We're bumping up on capacity both in the prison system and the county jail. The county jail is looking to expand. The state prison is looking to expand. They set aside some money this year at the state level to expand the prison.
10 years ago, the guy was doing stuff he should have been doing, building. And I approached him. I said, "Why are you doing that?" He says, "Doesn't matter, does it?" And I said, "I'm a police officer." He says, "Doesn't matter. I just got out of jail last night."
Yeah. Yeah, the cycling in the system is really problematic. And we have a couple different programs, Project Connect going, and one called the Targeted Offender Partnership. Both of them offer resources and off-ramps for individuals, but also a higher level of accountability. We don't have time to cover tonight. I can come back another time and talk about them. But you're right, there's got to be accountability, and there's got to be support along with that accountability. You got to do both. You can't just lock everybody up, and you can't just not lock anyone up and just hope they take treatment, because that doesn't work either. It's got to be an integrated approach. But thank you. Yeah, they're working on it. Other questions, comments? It's getting late. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate all of you, being here and caring enough about your community to get involved. So, we're not a perfect police department. We're gonna make mistakes, but I can promise you our officers are working very hard, trying to do the right thing, and I'm very proud to work with them. And so just thanks for all the insight tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Being here.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate Chief Red. If you didn't know, and I didn't introduce him, sorry, but he was brought on to Salt Lake City by the mayor about a year-ish ago. And all of the feedback that I've gotten from people around the city, from police officers, has been really that he's been great. Everything is changing. So really appreciate that. And thanks for coming out tonight. All right. We have our state representative with us tonight. We're going to try something a little bit different this year. So we're going to have state representatives and city representatives come first, along with the firefighters if they're here. And we had a faux pas. Councilmember Pui was online. I didn't realize that he was going to present, but he had to leave. So in the future, we'll make sure that we have everybody, all of our representatives able to present first.
And I'm not going to talk long. I've been at the Capitol all day. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Angela Romero, and I am the House of Representative. I'm the leader of the House Democrats in the Utah legislature, and I just live down the street here in Glendale. So myself and Representative Holland split the Poplar Grove neighborhood. So it's either Sandra or myself who represents you. As many of you know, Representative Holland's decided not to run for re-election. We'll find out on Tuesday who knows, it takes a day or two sometimes, who will replace her. And since they're the only person running, that will be the representative for many of you who live in Poplar Grove. And again, I don't want to take too much time because I've been at the Capitol all day in meetings and I'm tired. But I wanted to mention Chief Red and I have worked together for many, many years. And that's why he was joking around about me. Before he was the corrections director, he worked for DPS. And so most of the legislation I run, for those of you that are not familiar with me, is on sexual assault and domestic violence. And so I do most of my work is on victim advocacy. And so he and I have probably worked together for the last 10 years on this. But I think something that was raised by many of you, and I'd suggest this for one of our future meetings, is having Tyler Clancy come, who's the new homeless coordinator here for the state of Utah. He served with me in the Utah House of Representatives. He was also a police officer in Provo, and he now heads our efforts in regarding homelessness and how we're going to tackle homelessness. He presented before the executive committee. So I'm on executive appropriations. So if you're in leadership, since I'm the leader, I have about 5 or 6 more meetings. And so he presented to us his budget request, and he wanted to fund and switch money around. And I think many of the questions some of you were asking could be even addressed by some of the work that he's trying to do. So I can coordinate with our council here, and maybe we do it together with both councils, to have him come talk to you and to get feedback and input from all of you regarding how we're going to tackle homelessness. And there are many people, as Chief Red pointed out, that some might be drug addiction, some might be mental illness. And so former Representative Clancy is looking at different models in which we can make sure that we're helping people that have severe mental illness be able to have a bed and a place and have wraparound services and 24-hour care. And so these are some of the things that we're doing at a state level. And that doesn't have a political party affiliation to it. We all want to make sure that we're taking care of our members of the community and making sure that they get the right services, because you can, again, if somebody doesn't have someone there with 24 with those wraparound services, they may not take their medication. And so that can change different things. So he has a really great vision. I don't agree with all of his vision, but I agree with majority of his vision. And I think he would be a great person to come talk to all of you. We just had our interim meetings for this month. And just so you all know, I serve on criminal justice when it comes to appropriations. So each member of the Utah legislature serves on an appropriation committee, and they are the ones that kind of recommend budget priorities to the executive committee, which I serve on, which is members of both the majority and minority leadership team and a few other people. And those happen on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, which is today, we all have our standing committees, and I serve on transportation. Because none of my members wanted to serve on transportation, so I put myself there, and government operations. And the interesting thing today that I'll give you, and then I know many of you want to go home, is many people were concerned with elections and how elections are run, and are there people voting that shouldn't be voting? And the answer to all of you is no. The Lieutenant Governor did a big review of this to see if there were people that weren't supposed to be voting. Were they voting? There have been some cases, but it's like 0.00127. And so I just want you to know that our voting here in the state of Utah is very safe, and all the hoops that many of you have to jump through to vote, I guess it's working. So I just want you to know there's no voter fraud. There's nobody that looks like me that may be as aspiring to be a citizen voting at a high rate. And I want to remind all of you that House District 25, it's Glendale and it's West Valley and Poplar Grove. 50% of the people that live in our district are Latino. Many of us, and we're not monolithic either. I'm also Native American, but many of us have been here before this was ever the United States. Some of us are newly arrived. So I just want to remind everyone, be careful what you see on social media, what people say to you. Do some research and find out the facts. So I can tell you, the Lieutenant Governor, who's Republican, did this big report, and I can get that report to our community council chairs, and they can share it with all of you if you want to read it. Nobody's trying to come and vote in our elections to elect people like me. It's actually people who live in our neighborhood. But outside of that, I hope everyone has a nice weekend, and I'm willing to take some questions, but I know it's 8:30 and I know many of you want to go home. So if you want to take those, I can take those questions outside, or if you want to talk to me in front of everyone, you can do that, but I can also stick around and answer any individual questions people might have. So right now, like I pointed out, we are in interims. So this is the time if you want to talk to someone, if If you have a great idea that you think could be policy, this is the time to talk to us. I already have all my bills for the session, but I can refer you to another member from the majority or the minority that might be interested in running legislation if you have a really great idea. The other thing I want to remind people is if, depending on your political affiliation, there might be a primary, please vote if you have the privilege. And if you have the privilege to vote, please vote. I don't care who you vote for. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but please vote. Tuesday is election day. If you have a mail-in ballot and you haven't mailed it in, don't mail it in. Take it to the county clerk's office or a drop box. But if you have that privilege, because there's so many people that live in our community that don't have that privilege, please take that opportunity to vote. And that's all I have today, unless you have questions. Doesn't look like it. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we have Alicia De Leon from the mayor's office. If you wanted to take just a couple minutes to give a couple announcements.
Good evening, everyone. So I am your liaison to the mayor's office for District 2, and some of you are maybe in District 3. I am a part of, let's see, the West Side Solutions meeting, the community action team, and on a weekly basis, we have something that's called weekly community reports that we submit to our supervisor so that he can share with the mayor's senior staff. I'm telling you this is because if you have any important insight of your communities, any concerns, questions, comments, feedback, please send them to me. Or when you have an opposition to like rezoning in your area and you email planning, please CC me in the email, because then I can include that in my weekly report. And I also can bring up your concerns in those other community action team meetings, and also in the West Side Solutions meetings. So I'm here to advocate for you all because we're in relationship with PD. Commander Clough has been instrumental and very helpful in helping us figure out and be informed and just collaborate on issues near Fair Park. So please, I'm here to support you. At times, I may not be readily available because I'm handling many concerns and I tend to drop the ball. But if you text me, email me, call me, then I'd be able to reconnect. So just two things that I want to share tonight is that the waste and recycling team have set up free drop-offs for locations here on the west side for hard to recycle items. There's a e-waste collection event happening this Saturday, June 20th, here at the Glendale Library from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can drop off printers, laptops, cameras, old cell phones, routers, TVs, stereos, batteries, DVD players, tablets. So if you have anything at home that you want to drop off and just that you don't know where to drop off, come to the Glendale Library. I'm sure the collection is going to be happening here in the parking lot, and flyers, just English and Spanish, are back there on top of the piano. The other thing is the Economic Development Department is partnering with businesses to host watch parties for the World Cup. So they're doing events at Woodbine, Green Pig, El Meños, Black Sheep, and Casa del Pollo. Yesterday, they featured Argentina versus Algeria. I think tomorrow is Mexico versus South Korea. So if anyone's interested in joining those watch parties, those flyers are on the back. Questions, comments for me tonight? For sure. Okay.
That's my comment.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks, sir.
Gracias for coming.
Hola.
But this is just,
Sí.
I have two things. I've been living since 1998, but there is a lot of funding coming from the city. Some of the funding is like I don't know what it's called.
Oh,
$50,000.
Oh yes, it's called the facade grant.
Yeah, and then there's another one for the CDGP grant. But the problem is this, that we have a lot of immigrant and refugees as businesses on the west side. But the business, this type of like funding for the CDGP, they're saying that it's like outdoor. And then
It's for the outside of the property.
Yeah, then that's the challenge, because the immigrant that produce, they have this, that this is indoor, not outdoor. Whenever they try to apply, there's block, say that you're not eligible. So they're just giving favor to the people who own the building. And then that's the problem we're facing. Since, this, we have to, if I'm getting benefit, the other people, they should continue, not only giving favors to other people who own the building, and that's the bad thing to do that. So we have to think about, how we're gonna break these things,
Since you are a nonprofit, could you be able to convene those businesses, a few, and let me know when we can collaborate on bringing city representative from the housing development or housing department to have a conversation, sit down and have a conversation on what your feedback would be in terms of that grant?
This can happen how many years?
I know, but I'm saying if you and I convene a meeting so that we could sit down and provide feedback, direct feedback to the city, I'm willing to do that, to the housing, to that grant directly, because I'm able to do that. Okay. ¿Alguna otra cosa? Anything else? Okay, thank you.
All right, we're gonna have a hard stop at 8:45. But before we do, we wanted to just present the mural that Poplar Grove has been working on. So if Dan Potts wants to come up and take a minute to say something about it.
Very little. So Officer Oliver in the back, the guy talking to Jason. So he asked me, he says, hey, what can we paint on the precinct wall on 7th South and the Jordan River? And I jumped on it like a duck on a June bug. 8 June bugs. What? I'm a wildlife guy. So we did a wildlife mural on the wall, and you all need to go check it out. It's right on the Parkway, and I think it turned out really great. It's several people have said, well, the wildlife oriented people have said it's the best mural on the Parkway. Anyway, that's all I got. 7th South. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. So for people who want to discuss the housing rezones and stay afterward, I want your feedback so that I can put it in a letter to the planner. Okay. Just wanted to get that out there before people leave. And then we have an arts committee ourselves. So Sarah Wolf has been working on a couple projects, if you want to.
Hello, I'm Sarah Wolf. I head up the Arts Committee. I'm the treasurer, and I also head up business development. It's a really exciting time, I think, for Poplar Grove and for Glendale, with all of the art projects that are going on right now, with Cosmo getting installed, with this new peacock mural on the police building. And then in Glendale, well, this is actually on the border between Glendale and Poplar Grove. If you know the big empty lot that's across from Rose Printing, across from the 9-line bike park, we are doing a fence weave with artist Liberty Blake. It's in process right now, so it's not complete, but we're hoping to finish that up by the end of the month. And then let's see. Well, this is one we finished recently. I'm working on getting more murals along 700 West, which is a very kind of industrial street, but it kind of comes off of that little pod where the bike park is, and Rose Printing mural and all of that. So this is on Stone Ground Bakery. Oh, okay. Well, we have another art project in the works on the Sorensen Center. We have muralist Lizzie Winger, who's working on a mural with monarch butterflies that's right at the entrance to Youth City, if you know where that is. It's kind of on the right side of the building. So lots of art projects in the works, and more kind of in process, in planning. So social media updates. Oh yeah, follow us on social media for updates. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks, Poplar Grove, for taking a trip down south. Again, our slides are going to be online. We have a couple more things on our slides that we can share with you. And if you have questions, comments, please reach out to us. And again, follow us on social media. Our webmaster has been fantastic about getting the word out about everything that we can't fit into our meetings. So have a great night and enjoy your summer. Oh, all right.